So good morning. How are you today?
I am feeling a bit better today, Anna. Thank you so much. I did jogging in the morning. I took a run. I felt like, if I activate my body with exercising, sometimes it really helped me because it had helped me a lot in the old days as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm feeling a bit better than yesterday and the other day yesterday.
Yes. And
And how are you, Anna?
I understand that because I also made a mistake of sitting down during the lockdown. And then I realized that unless I move for 20 minutes or half an hour every day, your energies become stagnant, and you are a Zumba instructor. You can imagine you are used to
Yes.
do
To
it
moving
and
always.
circulate your energy, and all of a sudden you're like petrified, and then you're thinking, woof, heavy. So that's part of the problem. If you get into your routine like you are now discovering, and possibly
Yes.
outside in the garden, somewhere where there is nature, anything. That number one, physical circulation and breathing. Basics,
Yes.
necessities of a human body before we even do anything about focusing or future or success or anything. If you don't have a foundation, the body doesn't function.
Yes.
Second, did you read some of the articles that I sent? How did it help you? Did it help you?
Well, I mean, especially on the day where I was so depressed, to tell you a short story about it, like we have a license with Zumba Fitness, and the license we have to pay every month. And it's pretty much okay for the guys that are having another job
Yeah,
from
yeah.
6 to 5,
Yes.
because they can only do Zumba as like an extramural.
Yes.
But
Yes.
now for us that are doing Zumba for the sake of a work and an income, it's pretty much not okay, because now it's bad because the people aren't going to the gym, we ain't doing no classes. So I was shocked when I saw them debiting money out of my account, and it was 500 rand. That is quite a lot of money, because for me, I felt like they will stop debiting when they see that we don't do classes. So some of your articles can really comfort me to that extent that I'm also someone that reads books, especially personal development books. I understand well, of the speakers talking about the mind and all the other things, subconscious and conscious mind. But sometimes those things can just be overwhelmed by the feeling that I have of depression in the moment. So yeah, your articles are very helpful towards me. Sometimes I don't even reply, but when I read them, they just touch me there, and I will be like, wow, this is actually an information I needed for the day.
So I am always in tune with the energies.
Exactly. That is
Hi,
perfect.
Celeste. Oh, wow. Celeste in the cosmic sky.
Yeah, wow, that's great. Yeah, she's got a
Woo.
beautiful background there.
Yeah, you look like your mom. So lovely. Celeste, I'm really pleased that you're here. Okay, so before we say anything else, Sombago, just give us a brief introduction of who you are and what you do, and what would you like to
Yes.
get from the sessions. And Celeste, we're
Yes.
going to do this every Wednesday at 1 for about half an hour, see how it goes. Also,
All
after
right.
Sombago, would you just introduce yourself the same, and what do you would like to get out of the session? Just a couple of minutes.
Okay, great stuff. All right, guys. My name is Sonwabo Bomvana. I was born here in Cape Town in a township called Guguletu. It's just an outskirt of Cape Town city. It's most of the townships that are very big in Cape Town. I grew up there, and I lost track of my biological parents when I was about 5. So I mean, at 5, that stage of an imaginary, anything for you, it's just playful. You don't really recognize whether the connection you have with parents or relatives are your own parents or not. But then again, I grew up in that state, until I was in the ages of 14, 13, 14, where I felt that I needed really so much of that connection of my biological parent, but no one seems to know where they are. But in any case, I grew up to be a Rasta around the ages of 15 and 16, went in and out of prison until I got sentenced to 15 years. I came from prison where I served 12 years from my 15 years. But in prison, I managed to transform my life where I read a book called Emotional Intelligence by the other guy called Daniel Goleman. That
That's
was
right.
my first
Yes,
book.
yes, I read it.
So through that book, I wanted to read more. Even the Bible, I felt like it got a very great philosophical stories that transformed my head to tell myself that when I come out of prison, I don't want to go back to prison anymore. When I went out, I started doing activities like gumboots dancing and dancing. Luckily, an organization founded me and they gave me a job. That was my first job ever, because before I've never worked. I used to steal, I used to break houses, I used to rob people. I don't mean to scare you guys, but
You're
I'm
not
no longer
scaring
that guy.
me. Life can be tough.
Nice.
Anything goes.
But in any case, yeah, my activities are the ones that have driven me to kind of a active kind of a person
Yes.
until I'm a licensed Zumba instructor,
Yes.
also trying to learn to do other fitness activities in the gyms.
Good.
People.
You got a heart of gold, and you're such a good teacher. So look, if that's what you needed to learn to become who you are, then so be it. Who are we to judge? Life throws you in situations that are impossible sometimes, and you just have to find it somewhere inside to find the core and a platform and some roots, and say, start from zero, forget about the past, learn from it, move forward, just like in the Lion King, conk, it hits you on the head otherwise, and you go, I start again, and every single day is a new possibility. So you know what? Nobody can judge each other, because I always say, if I was you, I might have done worse. All I know is what I have done. This is the starting line, and I am starting from behind. And I kept on going at the speed of lightning, and I'm still going. You can see people say, how are you so motivated? Where do you have the drive? Because I've been in such a horrible place, I never want to ever go back there again. So you know what? I don't need anybody to tell me to, oh, I need the books. I take a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I'm very grateful for the people, for the books, for the experts, for whatever. But ultimately, it's me who drives my path, who pushes the blocks one after the other. And through my intuition, I say, this feels right, go. This doesn't feel right, don't go. I no longer need justifications or permission or approval or whatever. I think it feels right, do it. And you know, people are going to say, you're so stupid, you're this. And I go, call me what you want. But I have to do it because it's in my soul, it's calling me. And like when I write these articles, I just know that people need them. I need them, and I know people need them. And because I'm always in tune with the energies, I wake up in the morning and I go, what's happening today? I pick it up and I go, whoa, I can see it. And then my decoder mind as a polyglot translates the energies into words, and I go, ooh, and I weave. I'm a weaver. I knit and crochet. I weave and I put it together in a short or long article, and push. I throw it and I say to people, do with it what you want. And normally people go, oh, I just needed to do that. Oh, so you know what? We are all connected. And I pick up the vibe, and we are resonant. So we're starting something good and see how it grows. Celeste, so tell us a little bit about you.
I was living in Israel for, okay, should I start from the beginning?
Yeah,
right. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life until now. I've just been sort of felt like I've had no purpose or guidance or whatever in my life. And so I ended up like at an age where I was supposed to be doing something and having some motivation, and I had nothing. And I just went to Israel and for 8 years, and I wasn't able to achieve anything. I'm back home, and I have nothing. I had a lot to think about, and a lot that I haven't dealt with, issues I never dealt with at home. And
yeah,
and it's sort of like something just sparked now, and there's a lot of chain reactions happening in my life. I'm realizing like who I am, and
It's the time
exactly
for that.
where I came from. And
you know, like the article of the hummingbird, what I just wrote, normally are based on real life, mixed with spirituality and energies and business and focus. And so it's not just blah, blah, blah. You know, when you get lost in words and nothing, you haven't achieved anything, I refocus people, right? So I refocus people on the important things. And then people, because you get so distracted with all the demands of the world, your family, the work, the coming and going, the whatever. And then suddenly you go, what am I doing? And it feels like you are dispersed. So I go, A, B, C. And people go, oh, yes, thank you. And you back at the beginning, and then you start working again. And let go of a certain things that perhaps you didn't need, but you thought you needed because somebody told you that you needed them. And then you start thinking, I decide what I need in my life. Thank you so much for your advice. But you know what? Let me just focus and center, because honestly, you're driving me crazy. I love you, but I have to let you go. And it's only cutting all these umbilical cords and all these feelings of I owe you, you owe me, I'm guilty, I'm not guilty, I must forgive, I haven't forgiven. It's all these layers, 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 like an onion, and they drain you and they drag you, and you go, oh, I'm exhausted, what's happening? And it's all this in your head. So I go, stop, breathe, look at the clouds pass. Stay in a place in nature where you can hear water trickle, all the basics. Soothe your spirit. Have a coffee, have a chocolate, have a muffin, have something that some people, a glass of wine, whatever it is, and then center and go, okay, I was getting off, I was getting off, I was going crazy. Right, what do I have that I love? I've got my health, I've got my family. Okay, my mom drives me crazy, my dad, but it doesn't matter. I've got my family. Nobody says it has to be perfect. It's all work in progress. I've got my job. It may not be the perfect job in the world, or I don't get all the money I wanted, but I have something. So you start being grateful for what you have achieved, because we're not starting from zero. And as like someone said, all the mistakes, which mistakes don't exist, have led me here. So it was perfect synchronicity. Like in my article about the hummingbird, I go, how did I realize? Because at that moment, my consciousness was present. You want to say something?
No, I wanted to say, I was just going to send something to someone. You know, we're talking about distractions, and they are happening right now. So I'm just throwing my phone away so that nobody distract me.
And I destroyed my phone. So it's being present, not right and not wrong. No, tomorrow and not today. It just doesn't matter. The universe is taking billions of years to create whatever. We are here today. Today is all that matters. Tomorrow I may be dead. And yesterday is all gone. So I center myself with this. You sit in a place that you're comfortable, you look through the window, or you feel the air on your face, you center, you ground. And when you're grounded, you go, I start again, I start again, I start again. And people say, you are so determined, because there is not another way. Once you are lost somewhere, you can't get anywhere from there. You got to go back to your beginning, to your center. And that is who you are. And not comparing yourself with others or whatever, is who you are. I learned that I had to become my sister, my mother, my father, my brother, my husband, my wife, my daughter, my everything. I had to become my best friend. I have to like me. I can't be through life not liking me, living with the enemy. You're like, what? So if you do that, you've already achieved 80%, because everything else doesn't really matter. And the second thing important, once you like yourself and you center yourself, the third thing is, it doesn't matter what you have achieved or how much money you have made. What matters is that you trigger or tap into something you love doing, and focus on that love that flows. And from that, everything will come. And then we'll get lost and think, but I haven't made enough money. But if you really think at this very second, If you ask yourself a question, do you have any problems at this second? What is your answer now?
No.
Are you alive? Have you got food in your stomach? Have you got a roof over your head?
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't have any problems. And in the next second, you don't have any problems. And in the next, because at every stage, the universe brings you what you need that moment. It's on time delivery. It's not for you to feel safe or no. The universe brings you when you need it then, at that moment. Now, do you have the faith or the patience to say, I know that when I put my foot on that floor, there will be a floor for me to put my foot on. You can walk every step like that. The doors will open.
Yeah.
And the rest is just convolutions in your head. Because as you are clearing, loving, flowing, zigzagging, suddenly, boom, a realization comes. And suddenly that's not a problem anymore. And you said it this morning, no, yesterday, you said, how was I so heavy? And suddenly I wake up this morning so light.
Yeah, so
it's
light,
all gone.
yes.
Tell us a little bit about the story, about how did you transform yourself from that heaviness to that lightness the following day?
Yeah, well, I mean, I must say that first things first, I had to speak to people because, you know, that heaviness was overwhelming me to an extent. And then it reminded me of what I used to do back in the days when I'm overwhelmed with stress and anger, you know, which is I used to smoke, you know, maybe a joint, or maybe I will smoke, you know, what they used to call a Menrex. It's some kind of a pill where you just crush it and put it in with the joint, and then you just, you know, be dizzy and sleep. But in any case, that dizziness wouldn't last, you know, without you doing anything bad. It's like you want to do something so painful to you to overcome that, but the results of it won't be a good consequence.
You want to
So I
switch off
spoken
and
to
go,
exactly, you know. So what I did, I just sent some messages to the people I know, including you, Anna, you know, telling them about how I feel now, so that I can hear what they will say in return, you know. And what they said in return, I had to look into it and look into the fact that is so deep and comforting, including your messages that you also send. You know, a lot of the people also send some messages. After my calm, I just felt like maybe lay in my bed and see if this pain will just get off on its own, you know. It didn't get off until I fell asleep. But now when I woke up in the morning, I thought that maybe I will remember it. Well, of course, I did remember it because I know it was something that was happening within me. But then again, it was not a drive of my mind. My mind was to wake up and go jog, listening to my music, and then coming back and also thinking of ahead there in my mind, because it was yesterday, but it does not take control of myself anymore now.
It's not gripping. It's being released. So it's not owning you. It's being present softly.
I agree with what I mean. I understand what you're saying and maybe relate on some levels, and it all sounds pretty good.
It's just life, really. It's just
and it's
like
kind of funny.
Whole cycle of life with a lot of stages, small cycles, bigger cycles, and you start picking up the patterns. I go, oh, this is repetitive. I'm not going to fall back into the same thing again. And then next time you avoid it and start becoming very clever at avoiding, not engaging emotionally in people's problems, not allowing people to drag you down with their issues, having very strong boundaries, deciding what is mine to deal with, what is yours to deal with. So now I say, thank you very much, you can have it. I love you very much, I can help you, but I won't do it for you. My husband, my daughter, my mother, whoever, they all have to grow up. I take responsibility for me growing up. And I know that everybody has the power to grow up when they choose to. In the meantime, I am parallel on the sidelines, helping, but I no longer carry people, rescue people, save people, or at least try to do that so that I can have some value. I have value because I was born, full stop. I don't need to do or achieve. or have a star or be given a lot of money or fame to have value. The value is inherent in being creators, living beings, people, with a germ, with a little seed from the source. And we are just focusing the energies to decide, like a game of a child, what am I going to do with this? What am I going to do with this? No, oh my God, I haven't achieved that I wanted. Maybe it wasn't meant for you. Or maybe it will be later. We have to be a little bit patient with ourselves as well.
Yes, yeah. And it's very funny though, because, you know, when all is good, you know, you don't feel those things of the needy, like you don't feel like you don't have a purpose, like Celeste said. When all is well, you feel like you have a purpose. You feel like you are pushing towards the purpose that you are having, and you feel like you are helping as many people as you can. I mean, you feel that sense of value you are talking about.
That's
and
right.
your service to the human nature feels so important to you. But it's very, very strange that when something bad happens to you, you kind of feel hopeless. You don't feel that purpose you were feeling. You know, one of my friends the other day said to me, I need to understand that when all is good, all is not gonna be good sometime, you know. And when all is not good, I have to understand that it will come back again to be. But although I hear him say that, but it's very hard for me to, like,
When
for
it's
that thing
bad,
to
it's
flow.
like, yeah.
Exactly, you
Oh,
know,
no.
exactly.
But you know what
So I don't know where we can, you know, yeah.
it's the pendulum effect. When you
Yes,
were
yes.
younger, you know, this is your center of the pendulum. That's your happy medium, where I'm always wanting to be. And when I was younger, something happened, woof, the pendulum to the extreme. Oh my God, it was, I'm going to die, you get cold sweat, you get bad stomach, you get sick, you keep thinking, you don't
Yes.
sleep, you wake up, blah, blah, you don't function. And it takes 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, I don't know, for the pendulum to flip to the other extreme. And now you are exhilarated, you're on top of the world, you can be any better, and this is crazy, this is insane, this is not, it's a roller coaster, is my emotional horse is running wild away from me. Little by little by little, with your boundaries and detaching emotionally and focusing only on your thing, and stop paying so much attention on what people say and thinking, is that truth for me? Or is that their projection on me, their manipulation to me? So the pendulum is, and now my swings are like that. So I go, oh, no way, I'm not going there. Oh, yeah. So my pendulum goes, ding, ding. In half an hour, I sort myself out. An hour, 20 minutes, maximum half a day. So now life is fantastic. But before, when you were swinging and swinging and swinging, and you lose a job, and you break up with a boyfriend, and you argue with your mother, and you don't have friends, you're like, oh, this can't possibly be that. This is awful. And then you go, what? You know, you start reading, like you said, books. You start making better choices. Every single second you go, is this the best choice I can make for myself? Is this a reasonable choice? Am I trying to get something over someone else? Am I trying to force something to happen? Am I trying to bossy or force something? Am I trying to, my ego is trying to get the best out of everybody. And when you go, shh, calm down, horse, you start restraining the horse, suddenly you go, that fight is not worth it. That comment, I'm not answering. That projection, your problem. That if you don't want to be with me, so be it. And you start seeing things for real. I think he's cut off. Just to finish a little bit. And this is the kind of mindset and philosophy that when you achieve, then you start living, then you start achieving, then you start creating a solid platform where you can build your house, your physical life. So the 2/3 of the iceberg underneath is that work of foundation work that many people don't do. But at least we do it, our houses grow and fall, grow and fall, grow and fall, because it doesn't have anything to hold on to on the base. So, Celeste, tell me what you think.
This foundation, can you tell me what you mean by that?
Okay, so it's emotional, spiritual, energetic, physical,
okay.
is patterns, is your personality, is your subconscious, is the voice of your mother, the voice of your father, the voice of your school, your society, the things they told you you can do or you cannot do or you should do, how people see you and they think you should be, and then you try to fit into their expectations because you want their love. And if you don't get their love, you think, I am abandoned. So it's a pattern of abandonment, an archetype that is very painful. Like Sean said, he was like abandoned at 5. We all have it inside. So we need to work through the archetypes. I went through all the archetypes from Caroline Myss, years and years and years of personal work, until I anchored the 12 houses of my horoscope into the archetypes of each house: the artist, the author, the guide, the guru, the teacher, the gambler, the risk taker, the path opener, all these things. And I started to anchor them and I mixed them with my totems, and I started to see the reality from different languages, different point of views, and I started to get a bigger vocabulary, a bigger, more expansive synonyms, communicator, the writer. So I started to unblock. You see the steps. It's a lifelong process. It's very exciting. It's the adventure of your lifetime. You don't need to go anywhere. You do it from home and you do it inside yourself. You do it when it suits you and you do it in your own terms. And you command the universe, I'm ready, give me the next test. I'm ready, give me the next test. Rather than being hit. Rather than being hit by people and tests and go, what's happening? And you feel like totally like a seesaw, like a doll in the strings. You go, hey, that's not a test I want yet. I'm focusing on this. So you're constructing your life, because I have the engineer. So I construct my programs, I construct the architect. You see what I'm saying? So I think we have a lot to talk about. Today was an introduction. I wanted to see how it felt. For me, it feels fantastic. I don't know for you guys. We're going to do that every Wednesday at 1. The only thing I ask, do you mind if I put extracts or videos of our conversations online for other people to start getting a community? Because if people don't see it and don't feel it, they can, yeah. So it's like a bit of an indemnity, because I don't want to force people. If you guys don't want to be seen, you don't need to be seen, because this is personal stuff. But you know, I have nothing to hide. Because really, the more you hide it, the bigger it becomes. And we all go through the same problems and the same issues. Different colors, same pattern, same process. So if people don't get physical examples, they can really relate to what it is we are talking about. It has to be real.
Fine with me. It's fine with me. I don't mind if you share this
Excellent
recording.
So, as I say, because it has to be like pay forward. Pay forward. Give it for free.
Yes.
Give it for free and let the universe reward you with whatever it is that the universe thinks you can take at this moment. The universe will only give you what you can receive. But if you don't give, how can you receive?
Yes, good.
So that's how I do it. And I don't care about anything else. That's what I said.
Okay.
The money, the this, the that, it makes you very, very constricted. But when it's heart and it's passion and there is calling and there is love, I get goosebumps when I tell the truth. Look at this. The sword of the truth. Archangel Michael. It's a sword.
Wow.
It's the Excalibur.
Wow.
I promise to only speak the truth. I call it Excalibur. I had a block on my throat chakra. I couldn't speak my truth, and I was suffering every day.
I see.
Since I made a promise, I don't care about anything else. I just tell my.
That's amazing. I have a similar experience. It's very nice.
Exactly. It's all in my books. If you want to read a book, I'll pass it on to you. I only ask for a review in Amazon, because people don't know what my books have. The vibe.
Review. Yeah. So on which site?
I have a whole metaphysical library of podcasts for free in YouTube. You can subscribe, videos, everything. I've been doing this for 25 years. I was so lost and so much pain, I just couldn't exist. And it's taking me 25 years to get here. So now it's just habits, benefits, pass it on. It's a net of love, really. I want to cry.
We're all crying. Of course. Yeah, I'm crying too. Can't see, but I'm crying.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. It's
Bless
beautiful.
you.
Thank
See
you
you
so much.
next week.
Bless you too.